How's it going, everybody? Wayne here. Today we have some more boxes and manuals and game cartridges for boxes and manuals I already had. Let's check them out. I've been on eBay since 2005. I love eBay. You always hear the horror stories about people getting screwed somehow or another, whether they be the buyer or the seller. But over the 13 years I've been on the platform, I've had minimal issues overall. One of my favorite things to do on eBay is snipe. I'll watch an auction down to the last few seconds, already have how much I'm gonna bid on that item set there, and when there's like 4 seconds left in the auction, I'll click bid. And that gives nobody else the chance to change their mind and go back and try to bid on the item at a higher price. It's too late at that point. I've won a lot of great items off eBay with that method, but then I've also got screwed a lot too. It's really an adrenaline rush. When you're down to the last few seconds, you don't know what's gonna happen. I've had my phone ring, and then of course eBay disappears and the phone call pops up and you just lost out on that auction yourself. One of those games I recently won on a snipe was Stunt Racer 64 complete in box. Now I had $515.18 sitting in my PayPal, and I had bid every last penny of that on this game. But I ended up winning it for $469 shipped, which is a super good deal for Stunt Racer. Stunt Racer 64 was developed by Boss Studios and published by Midway. It released for the N64 in 2000 at Blockbuster rental stores. This game, complete in box, sits right with Sculptor's Cut in rarity. Only this game is fun. The graphics are pretty good and the controls handle well. You do races and you can do stunts and collect money to upgrade your car. It's not the best racer on the N64, but it's really good and it's one I'll go back to and do a full playthrough of. This game cart for the longest time sat at $30. It wasn't until the last couple years that this game actually jumped up to the $100 range for just the cartridge. This game is fun and rare, and that makes a perfect recipe for a game to become really expensive. Mark my words, this game will keep going up in price. I think complete in box prices will eventually reach over $1,000 consistently. Get this game knocked out quickly if you still need it for your collection before it goes up in price. And Stunt Racer 64 is game number 60 for the complete in box N64 library. And at $469 shipped, that brings our total up to $3,478. Next up, I got some carts and also some manuals to fill some of the boxes that I had empty on the shelf. So another tip when it comes to eBay is finding sellers who do combined shipping. A lot of times you'll see a game on there for $1.50 plus $5 shipping. Well, if they have a lot of titles you need, you can go in there and buy 5 or 6 games and get them all for $5 shipped, so you are indeed only paying $1.50 for the game and not $6.50. So for $11 shipped, I got Madden 64, Toy Story 2 Game and Manual, and WF Warzone. And we'll be talking about these games because they're going on the shelf. Madden 64 was developed and published by EA Sports and released for the N64 in 1997. Unlike NFL Blitz, Madden 64 is a simulation football game and not an arcade-style game. The graphics are blocky and the instant replays in the game are choppy. When it comes to tackling, if you even get touched by another player, you're going down. Despite the flaws, if you're a football simulation fan, you will enjoy this game. And Madden Football 64 is game number 61 for the N64 library. Next up, Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2 was developed by Traveler's Tales and published by Activision. It released for the N64 in 1999. Toy Story 2 is a platforming game where you take Buzz Lightyear and try to rescue Woody, who was taken by Al from a yard sale, just like in the movie. The graphics are average and the camera control is super bad. Besides that, the game does offer some interesting puzzles and platforming. This game would be best enjoyed by a younger audience. And Toy Story 2 is game number 62 for the library. Finally, our third wrestling game, WF Warzone. WF Warzone was developed by Iguana West and published by Acclaim, releasing for the N64 in 1998. Another wrestling game for the N64, the first thing I noticed is Warzone has some pretty good graphics. The controls are responsive, but it doesn't allow as many moves as some of the previous games we've already covered. It is a fun wrestling game, but I would choose other wrestling games over this one. NWF Warzone is game number 63 for the N64 library. And with these 3 games costing $11 shipped, that brings us up to $3,489. Next up we have a game that I slightly overpaid for, and that game is Aero Fighters Assault. The reason I overpaid for it is because I really wanted to play this game. Aero Fighters Assault was published by Video System and released in October of 1997. Here is a game that didn't hold up well. I had this game growing up, and I absolutely loved it. I loved battling the mega bosses and playing all the missions. I also played a lot of 2-player mode and had a blast doing the dogfights. It was cool to have so many weapons on your aircraft: guns, missiles, and a super weapon. After popping it in today, it definitely doesn't excite me like it used to. The graphics are awful, the slowdown is horrendous, and the game lacks music. I have a lot of great memories with this game, but I won't be coming back to it anytime soon. Aero Fighters Assault is game number 64 for the collection, and at $9 shipped, that brings our total up to $3,498. Next up we have Mario Kart 64. This cartridge cost me $48 shipped, and then the manual for the game cost me $7 shipped. Mario Kart 64 was developed and published by Nintendo, and it released for the N64 in 1997. Selling almost 10 million copies, Mario Kart 64 is the second best-selling N64 game. With so many copies of the game out there, it leaves the question in your head, why does this game run in the $100 range complete in box? Surprisingly, I didn't own this game growing up. My Mario Kart was Diddy Kong Racing. Like Super Mario 64, there's nothing I can really tell you about this game you don't already know. It's a fun game and I'm happy to have it in the collection. Mario Kart 64 is game number 65 for the collection, and with the game and manual costing me $55 shipped, that brings our total up to $3,553. Finally, I found another lot of 4 boxes for $15 shipped. Mia Hamm, just the box. Virtual Pool 64, box and manual. Gex 3, box and manual. And Wheel of Fortune, box and manual. With those 4 boxes costing $15 shipped, that brings the total up to $3,568. Let's get these games on the shelf. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe. I'll be collecting the entire N64 library complete in box right here on the show. Also make sure to leave a thumbs up for Stunt Racer. And until next time, I'm Wayne, and thanks for watching.